Episode 10. The following evening, Xinlan galloped from the school of classical Chinese back to the dormitory with great excitement. There, Jingfan learned of a highly unexpected development. "Guess what?" she screamed even before her foot had fully passed through the door, as she was unable to suppress her enthusiasm any longer. "Did you receive your long-awaited love confession from Mr. Mizuno?" Li laughed, teasing her. Hearing this caused Jingfan's chest to tighten, but neither Xinlan nor Li noticed her odd reaction. "Shut up! But seriously, this news is even more exciting than Mr. Mizuno proposing to me. Take a guess as to who I saw today at the School of Classical Chinese." "Who?" Li and Chenyan asked in unison while Jingfan remained silent. "It was the super beauty of our school, Ku-chi-jong! You weren't expecting that, were you?" announced Xinlan in a strange, purposely elongated voice. "What on earth was she doing there? Don't tell me Jingfan went behind our backs and introduced her to Koichi," Li shrilled. "I thought we were friends, Jingfan, even after we warned you over and over," she attacked without giving Jingfan an opportunity for rebuttal. Just as Jingfan opened her mouth to explain, Xinlan waved her hands and said, "Don't misunderstand, guys, listen to me. When I saw Kuchi-jong, I thought the same thing. But Jingfan's not that kind of person," she said to Li before turning to Jingfan and giving her a wink. Xinlan continued, "I apologize, Jingfan. I really thought you'd betrayed our friendship for a second. I really am sorry. You'll forgive me, won't you?" Before Xinlan was finished speaking, Li loudly interrupted as always. "I'm sorry too, Jingfan. Forget everything I just said. You know how short-tempered I am. I just said what was on my mind without using my brain first," she shouted as her tongue twisted. Hearing those words made Jingfan even more anxious. Her heart pounded faster and her head began to spin. "Jingfan's not a coward like that. Li, quit speaking when it's not your turn. Xinlan, please tell us what happened after that." Shenyan impatiently urged Xinlan to continue her story. "Oh, okay. Where was I?" Xinlan said as she tried to remember where her story left off. "The part where you shockingly saw Kuchi-jong at the School of Classical Chinese," Li answered without delay. "Oh, that's right. I never usually saw her there, so I really thought for a second she might have had a change of heart to improve her studies. If that girl really did start taking her studies seriously, maybe she'd have less time to spend spreading rumors around the school. I think she's just using studying as an excuse for something else she's planning," Li said just before a pillow struck her square on the head from above. "Quietly! Could you shut up for once in your life, please?" Chenyan stormed after angrily throwing the pillow. Xinlan turned back to Chenyan and Jingfan. "What Li says is true. She was up to something. As soon as Koichi Mizuno appeared, she charged towards him ahead of me and asked shamelessly, 'Koichi, would you teach me Japanese?'" Xinlan imitated, trying to copy Kuchi-jong's sugary voice. Li could not contain her anger any longer. "She just threw herself all over him? What a whore! She really has no shame, does she? Really? This is totally a slap in the face to all the girls in this dorm. No, not only to the girls in this dorm, but a slap in the face to every girl in China. Bitch!" she roared. I know, I couldn't believe my ears. I couldn't believe how shameless she was. It was disgusting. But just like I knew my beloved Koichi Mizuno would, he flat out turned her down. He said, "Sorry, I don't really know you, and I already have enough partners, so unfortunately I can't study with you," and then just went into the classroom. He didn't even give her the time of day. I wish you guys could have seen the look on her face after that. Xinlan told everyone, ecstatic. "That's what she gets. She thought she could use her beauty to get any guy she wanted, but it looks like Koichi finally taught her a lesson. Oh God, thank you for finally punishing her," Li said as she sat atop her bed, seemingly praying to something. "It looks like that Koichi Mizuno not only has great looks, but a winning personality as well. He's so different from all the other idiot guys in our department. The other guys are ugly, annoying, and all they do is fawn over Kuchi-jong every day. He was a good choice on your part, Xinlan. Don't lose your chance. Snag him up before someone else steals him away, Chenyan said, giving Xinlan a serious piece of advice. Chenyan was the only girl living in the dormitory who had been in a relationship for several years, so when it came to the topic of love, she would always provide her expertise and speak of her experiences to the other girls. I know, Chenyan. I know you've already dedicated yourself to your boyfriend Shi, but my case is a little different. I just don't want to lose to someone like Kuchi Zhong. If my rival were someone like Jingfan, I'd happily hand him over, Xinlan said as she gave Jingfan a pat on the shoulder, totally unaware of her and Koichi's relationship. Jingfan wouldn't steal someone's boyfriend away, though. Only promiscuous girls like Kuchi Zhong would do something like that. Right, Jingfan? Li nudged, giving Jingfan a pass. I was just giving an example. Don't worry about it, Jingfan. Xinlan followed. Jingfan felt as if she wanted to crawl into a hole and escape from this room. The more she was praised and praised by the girls around her, the more intense her embarrassment became. Unable to handle being in the room any longer, she turned to leave just as Xinlan asked a sudden question. By the way, Jingfan, isn't Koichi acting a bit strange recently? It looks like there's something on his mind or something. He also looks unmotivated when we study. It's like his heart is somewhere else. Has he told you anything about it? Hearing this made Jingfan feel like a deflated ball. Every muscle in her body was rendered powerless. I need to go make a call. Jingfan dodged the question, frantically escaping from the dormitory. Jingfan heard the voices of Li and Xinlan arguing from behind her as she ran. Look what you did! Your jokes made her upset! Jingfan ran far away from the dormitory. It was drizzling outside, and she was still in a daze. What do I do now? She had fallen into a dilemma, stuck between a rock and a hard place. Koichi's love and Xinlan's trust were like mountains resting on each of her two shoulders, crushing her and making her unable to breathe. Jingfan felt cold from the bottom of her heart as the cool wind blew. Summer had finally ended, but 2 years of friendship spent together with Xinlan would soon grow cold and disappear along with the summer. Was this a rain of loneliness she was watching fall to the ground, all alone in the freezing autumn winds? With these thoughts, her head began to ache severely.